Another episode of The Struggle. I apologize. It's been a long time overdue. I have been extremely busy. I apologize for being late today because been extremely busy. It's just been a lot of stuff going on in the Edmo Show house. We've just been having a lot of things popping up left and right. The missus, she's running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to take care of everything. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to take care of like everything, meetings left and right, interviews left and right, all types of other stuff. Not to get into the specifics, but that's why we've been kind of inconsistent. And then family, friend emergencies and stuff like that. It's been a lot. You know what? Even though the missus and we've been married for over a year now, I cannot wait for our honeymoon. Oh man, if you guys can't tell by the look on my face, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Oh man, I cannot wait for our honeymoon. Coming soon. So with that being said, you guys probably will not have us for about a couple weeks. So for anything, just putting that out there to you guys. But yeah, so I know the struggle has been long overdue. I know we did Passover. Um, yeah, and I've been having a hard time just trying to juggle everything. It's been a lot of moving parts and everything like that. But thank God for the misses. God knows I love her and I am so appreciative to have her. Wait, no crap. So while the slide is loading up, we are going to be getting into chapter 26 of Exodus. Now, just going to forewarn you guys, the next couple chapters are going to be super, super technical. It's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be very dry. I apologize. This was so far in my study, this is probably my least favorite reading. I mean, but it is very important. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not important. It is very important that we go through these. Of course, I'm going to be referencing Dennis Prager's book Exodus, God, Slavery, and Freedom. Um, you guys can go ahead and if you guys want to follow along, please grab yourselves whatever Bible that is at your disposal. Me personally, I don't care if it's the King James version, the NIV. I got the Hallelujah Scriptures. I got the TLV. You got the Dewey Rames. I really don't care as long as you guys can read it. I'm not going to be one of those people that are saying, well, the King James version is the only version. It's the closest one to the translation. I'm hey, first let's start with getting you guys the word first. Let's start with going through the text first. Get yourselves a Bible that you guys can read. I use the TLV as my study Bible. This is my personal Bible that I use for actual reading. I got the Dewey Rames. I think it's more Catholic driven, so I use that to kind of cross reference certain things. I'm just going to tell you guys when you go down this path, it's definitely an investment. I'm just going to say that. It's definitely an investment because it's uh, you, once you start, you're going to be so hungry for the word. I'm just going to say it like that. It sounds cliche, but you are. You're going to be very hungry because it's going to spark your curiosity. I don't know, maybe that's just me. My wife, we have I have a study NIV. I had that in the military. I actually enjoy reading this better. Just to give you guys, let me see. Because I'm further ahead in my personal Bible than I am in my in our study Bible. So let's see. Um, so I'm just gonna give you guys a quick one here. So right here I'm gonna read you guys what it says here. Moreover, you are to make a tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, blue, purple, scarlet, and cherubim, made by the work of a skilled craftsman. So in this Bible, in the Hallelujah Scriptures, it's going to say, and make a mishkan, which is the same word for tabernacle. It's just the Hebrew version. With linen and blue and purple and scarlet. Make them with cherubim. So even the spelling is different. So see here, it'll say Cheruvim. In my Hallelujah Scriptures, it says it is spelled Kerubim. So cherubim, you know. So those are some differences. The work of a skilled worksman. So, and it says right here, made by the work of a skillful craftsman. So there's going to be slight variations, and that's why I say get yourselves multiple Bibles. Don't just sit here and don't get caught into this trap where they say, oh, well, the King James version is the only version because it's the closest one. Trust me, I even what was it? I was exposed to the fact that the probably the most accurate one um is probably the King James version 1611, or is it 1811 or six? I think it's 1611. The 1611 version, because they still have the apocrypha in it. In one verse, they some Bibles will say Passover in Acts when they're talking about the when Herod is trying to kill John. They call it Passover because I know in the TLV they call it Passover. Um, in but in that version they'll call it Easter, and then they make a differentiation between Easter and Passover. So yeah, sorry if I'm digging in my eyes. I got, yeah, staring at computer screens all day. So that's why I say get yourselves different versions. Just when you read through one, I would say have a King James version, just to cross reference, because a lot of people read the King James version. I know it's hard to read. I don't really enjoy reading it, but I will say non-biblical reasons. If you can read the King James version, I believe your reading skills will go up. And I think it's because it's old English, and you have to really think and understand context, languages, and stuff like that. But yeah, not to get lost in the weeds, but go get yourselves, excuse me, get yourselves a Bible first. I don't care what it is. Get yourselves a Bible, read it, study it, and you guys can turn to, especially for Old Testament. Get Study people like Dennis Prager. Dennis Prager is very, like, he calls his books the rational Bible. He's trying to break it down for everybody. It's not just for Christians, it's not just for Jews, even though he's Jewish. He tries to take what the scripture is saying, and he tries to break it down in the most rational, historical ways possible. Does that mean he's correct? No, but at least he's making it palatable for people to understand. I know that's what happened for me. He brought, because this was the first book of his that I bought. This one. I think I got his other one. I think I finished his, yeah, we did Genesis. We finished Genesis. I'm waiting for him to do Leviticus. I can't wait for that book to come out. He just did Passover. I haven't even started reading that one yet because I just got it. I'm reading, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. So, but I would say grab people like him. Another person, Dr. Vodi Bakum. He's another great person. Let me see. I got his other book, Fault Lines. Amazing book. Fault Lines: The Social Justice Movement and Evangelicalism Looming Catastrophe. And it's yeah, this is a great book. I haven't finished this one yet. I'm halfway through it. Like I said, I'm reading multiple books on top of like other stuff that I got to read for work, school, stuff like that, cuz yes, I'm going back to school. So, just putting that out there. But get yourselves a Bible to read if you can read it. Get something you can read. Don't get something that you can't read, that you're going to hate reading, and that you're not going to want to read. Get something that you'll enjoy reading. And then, just go down that rabbit hole. If you feel like, hey, you want to get a different Bible to kind of cross reference, do that. You know, we got, I think, one, two, three, four. five. I got 6 Bibles in this house. 6 Bible, and then that's another thing. If you get multiple Bibles, you can leave a Bible in every different room. And sometimes I'm looking to get um the chronological Gospels by Michael Rood. I believe it's more New Testament. It it restructures the New Testament. It doesn't change anything. It just restructures the New Testament to follow a timeline, because what they have discovered is people try to say Jesus had a 3-year ministry when he didn't. He had a year-long ministry. So he puts that in chronological order with just the holiday feast and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, I'm telling you guys, I'm looking to get decorative Bibles so that way I can put them in places like my living room and basement, stuff like that. I'm just saying it's definitely something that you might want to look into if that's what you enjoy. Yeah, I think I rambled on long enough about that. We got the slide up here, so let's go ahead. Exodus 26, the curtains. 26. Moreover, you are to make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue, purple, violet, and with cherubim made by the work of a skilled craftsman. The length of each curtain is to be 28 cubits, and uh, the width of each curtain is 4 cubits. All the curtains are to have the same measure. 5 curtains are to be coupled together, one to another, and the other 5 curtains are also to be coupled one to another. Also, make loops of violet and on the edge of the one curtain with the outermost in the first set, and do likewise within the edge of the curtain that is the outermost in the second set. You are to make 50 loops in the first curtain and 50 loops on the edge of the curtains that is in the second set. The loops are to be opposite one another. Then make 50 loops of gold and one coupled the curtains one to another with the clasp, so the tabernacle may be one piece. Like I said, that is a lot of information, and I'm pretty sure, because even when I'm sitting there reading it, I'm like, okay. Like I could just, and remember, this is what God is saying to Moses. So Moses has to be a smart dude to like really keep all this stuff together. So let me see. Cubits. I'm trying to see if trying to see where they got cubits. Unit. They don't have it in here. Let me see. Let me cross reference just to make sure. Like I said, this Bible reads differently. All right. Okay, so in this Bible, I think it says Amah, and Amah is like 17.5 inches. It doesn't say cubits, it says Amah. So yeah, so that's about 17.5 inches or 44.5 centimeters. And then long, it says Amma long is 20.5 inches and 52.1 centimeters. So let's see. No, Dennis Prager got stuff in here. Okay, so right here, his opening paragraph, right before he gets into it, he says the tabernacle, to a description, is a tapestry surrounding and covering. Verse 1 described the innermost covering linens. Verse 7 describes the next layer made of goat hair. The verse 14 describes the third layer, ram's hair, and the outmost layer covering is dolphin skin. And oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. All right. So he has a paragraph right here. The elaborate details in the chapter once again attest to the importance the Torah attached to the place of great art in religious life. With the destruction of the temple, however, the art became much less significant in Jewish life, which came to emphasize the intellect and morality. The aesthetics has often been viewed as irrelevant in Jewish religiosity, except for some stunning synagogues along almost all of them built before the beginning of the 20th century. And as not Jewish, given the importance in the non-Jewish, specifically the Christian, Muslim, and secular world. That is that this estrangement from art not be inherent to traditional Judaism is demonstrated by the story of Jonathan Sacks uncovering the writings from Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook, the chief rabbi of a pre-state Israel. Rabbi Cook spent several years in London. Sorry, it's allergy season. During World War One, and wrote the following. When I lived in London, I would visit the National Gallery and the paintings. I loved most the paintings I loved most were those of Rembrandt. In my opinion, Rembrandt was a saint. When I first saw Rembrandt's painting, they reminded me of a rabbinic statement about the creation of light. When God created light, it was so strong and luminous that it was possible to see from one end of the world to the other. And God feared that the wicked would make and God feared that the wicked would make us of it. What did he do? He secreted he secreted from its righteous he secreted, oh my god, for the righteous in the world to come. But from time to time there are great men whom God blessed with the vision of that hidden light. I believe Rembrandt was one of them. All right, and then let me see. And then he says here, one God, one sanctuary. And this is referring to verse 6, which is, then make 50 clamps of gold and couple the curtains to one another and with the clamps, yada, yada, yada. So he said, the word translated, and so the tabernacle becomes one whole, literally means, and the tabernacle will be one. Richard Elliott Friedman comments that this rendering fits better in connecting the centrality of the tabernacle to Israel's monotheism. Although with the one God, there's also one tabernacle, one altar, one place of worship. See Leviticus 17, 1 through 8, which directs all sacrifices to be offered at the tabernacle's altar and nowhere else. Ooh, crap. Oh man, allergy season. And at this sensitive moment in history, when the idea of monotheism was beginning to plant root in the the polytheistic world, sorry, it was imperative there not be more than one place to worship God, because that might suggest that there is more than one God. A new religion with a single deity required a single sanctuary. Friedman argues the Bible's critics who claim Israel's religion became pure monotheism only many hundred years later, perhaps only during the Second Temple period, have not appreciated the significance of the commandment of centralization of worship in the single at a single location. Ooh, sorry, allergies just kind of come and just uppercutted me in the face. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on. All right. You are to make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 curtains in all. The length of each curtain is to be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains are to have the same measurement. You are to couple 5 curtains by themselves, 6 curtains by themselves, and double over the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tent. Then make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain that is outermost in the first set, along with 50 loops on the edge of the curtains on the outermost of the outermost in the second set. Make 50 bronze clasps, put them into the loops, and couple the tent together so that it may be one. As for the overhanging part that remains in the tent of the tent curtains, half curtain, the half curtain that remains is to hang over the back of the tabernacle. The extra cubit on one side, as well as the cubit on the other side, which remain which remains the length of the curtain of the tent, is to hang over on the sides of the tabernacle on each side to cover it. You are to make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red and cover it and a covering of seal skins above. No, Dennis said dolphin skin. I don't know where they got dolphin skin from because this one says seal skin, but I don't know how you're going to get a dolphin skin back then. All right. You are to make the framework of boards for the tabernacle of from acacia wood, standing upright. So, I'm just going to tell you guys this is what popped up in my mind. This image right here just painted me like the image of the cross. I could be wrong, but that's what pops up. I'm just being transparent. And I believe the cross was made from acacia wood. Or no, I believe his crown was made of acacia wood. The thorns of acacia wood. I don't know. I could be wrong. The length on each board is 10 cubits by 1.5 cubit wide. There are to be two supports in each board, joined one to another. Excuse me. Oh, my nose. Uh Do this for all the boards of the tabernacle. You are to make 20 boards for the south side of the tabernacle and 40 silver bases underneath the 20 boards. Two bases go underneath one board, for it supports two bases under another board for its supports. For its supports. Okay. Likewise, the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, there are to be 20 boards with their 40 bases of silver. Two bases go under one board and two bases go under the next board. For the back part of the tabernacle westward, you are to make 6 boards. Make 2 boards for the corner of the tabernacle, one on the backside. They are also to double at the bottom, in the same way joined at the top by the first ring. It is to be this way for them both. They will provide for two corners. So there will be 8 boards with 16 silver bases, 2 bases under each board. I believe we're coming down to the wire now. So also make cross beams of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, 5 for the boards on the back part of the tabernacle to the west. The middle cross beam, it in the center of the board will pass through from one end to end. Then overlay the boards with gold and make their rings from gold and holders for the crossbeam and overlay the crossbeam with gold. They are to raise up the tabernacle according to the plan which you were shown on the mountain. Make a fine woven linen curtain of blue, purple, scarlet with cherubim. It is to be the work of a skilled craftsman. You are to hang it on 4 pillars of acacia wood, overlay it with gold. There are hooks being made of gold atop 4 bases of silver. you are to hang the curtains under the glass, bring the ark uh, within the curtain of the testimony, the parakek or parahek, I don't know how to pronounce that word, will divide for you between the holy place and the holy of holies. Then you are to put the atonement cover of the ark of the testimony in the holy of holies. So the tabernacle, I guess the innermost sanctum of the innermost part of the the tabernacle is called the holy of holies. The structure as a whole is called the tabernacle, but the innermost part is called the holy of holies. You shall set the table outside the curtain, the menorah opposite the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. You are to put the table on the north side. For the entrance of the tent also makes a screen of blue, purple, and scarlet, finely twisted linen, and the work of a color weaver. You are also to make the screen 5 pillars of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Their hooks are to be made of gold, and you are to cast 5 bases of bronze for them. And that's it. That's it. So here we got 26 verse 1, or violet, Exodus 26 verse 31, a parakuk or parakek, I guess, refers to Hebrews 9 verse 3. Beyond the second curtain was a dwelling called the Holy of Holies. And then we got 26 verse 35, which refers to Hebrews 9 verses 2 through 5. For the tent was prepared in the outermost part, where the menorah, the table, and the presentation of the bread. This is called the holy place. Beyond the second curtain was the dwelling called the Holy of Holies. It held a golden altar of incense and the Ark of the Covenant, completely covered with gold. In the Ark of the Covenant was a gold jar holding the manna, Aaron's rod that budded, and the tablet of the covenant, and above it cherubim of glory overshadowing the mercy seat. But it is not now possible to speak in detail about these things. So yeah. So I understand, that these next couple chapters are going to be very, very detail oriented. Um, it's really going to be detail oriented. I understand it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to consume. It's going to be a lot to digest. It's going to be a lot to understand. So, because even me, I'm still trying to figure out the significance. I understand the Holy of Holies is important, but I'm trying to figure out the significance of everything. So, all right. So Dennis has a little essay right here about referencing 26 verse 15. You shall make a plank for the tabernacle of acacia wood upright. He says the Torah does not explain why acacia trees were used for the building of the ark, but one likely reason is acacia trees are not fruit bearing, and would seem and God God, it would seem, did not want fruit trees cut down even for the building of the ark. Later, Torah law formally forbade the cutting down of fruit trees in Deuteronomy 20 verses 19 through 20. For the implication for this regulation regarding acacia wood in our daily lives, see commentary Exodus 36 verse 20. All right. And then he says right here, 26 verse 20, then set up the tabernacle according to the manner of it that you were shown on the mountain. And it says, according to Casudo, what was left unexplained in words was clarified by the vision Moses, saw on the mountain. And then his last entry, well, he has two more entries of 26 verse 31. You shall make the curtains of blue, purple, crimson yarn, fine twisted linen. It shall have a design of cherubim work on it. The curtain, he writes, the curtain described in verse 31 through 35 separates the inner sanctum, known as the Holy of Holies, where God's Spirit dwelled, and from the holy place outside it. And then his last entry was 36. You shall make a screen for the entrance of the tent, blue, purple, and crimson yarn of fine twisted linen done in embroidery. He writes, the screen separates the tent from the courtyard. All right. Yeah. And the next, like I'm telling you, these next couple chapters are going to be so heavy on information, um, measurements, directives. I'm telling you now, you know what? And I think, sometimes you gotta grind through the boring parts to get to the good parts. Um, excuse me. I'm still trying to learn, why would God be so, I mean, of course, he's trying to get his dwelling place, but I'm trying to find the significance and the importance of why each detail had to be so specific, from color, material, measurement, you know, how they looked, how they're connected. I'm trying to figure out the importance of it, because it's so outside my understanding right now that it's hard for me to even grasp it. So maybe that might be a project, that I probably work on, trying to map out each material, try to find the significance of each color, trying to find the significance of why each material was chosen. Like they said, the acacia wood does not bear fruit. So, but yeah, other than that, I got nothing for you guys. I'm not gonna keep sitting here droning on. I don't really have too much of what I've learned other than about the acacia tree and some of the aspects that Dennis talked about. Like I said, it's very important that you guys get this book, or get a book that will help you understand. Because I'm telling you, just reading it, you're gonna be like, okay. But I mean, other than that, I have nothing for you guys. Yeah, so as you guys know, we don't do ads or on the struggle episodes. So until then, I will see you guys later. Make sure you guys tune in for another episode. I hope things start to level out so that way we can start getting back on consistency. But until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out.